Go! Welcome to Game Face with MJ and Dolph. I, of course, am MJ. That is Dolph. Welcome back to the show. It's a great day today. Damian Lillard very likely headed to the Heat. If you're following my Twitter, I'm telling you, it's very quiet out there. The deal is coming. The deal is coming. It could be 2, it could be 3. It's likely 3 or 4 teams, but we'll see how that works out. But anyway, today on today's show, we're going to be covering something that we both enjoy, and that's movies. And what's this show about? It's mainly about sports. So we're going to talk about our favorite sports movies of all time. This isn't some ranking that we found online. This isn't Siskel and Ebert. Nothing along those lines. We're literally just talking about what our favorite movies are. Whether we put them in a rank or not, they're just the movies that we like. So, Dolph, how you doing today, bud?
I'm good, man. I was sitting here thinking about this episode since we talked about it, and I have just been excited. I wasn't sure if I could find 5 that I would say are my favorite, and then I ended with 7. So, and I know you have more than that too. So it's just crazy how we both tried to get low, but we both have 7 basically that we are just enough that we want to talk about. So man, I'm so excited about talking about these. These are cool movies. Like I said, they are not in any ranking. But before we start, I did want to show you what I got in the mail.
Oh, yes. Show me what you got.
For those of you that don't know, I like auctions. I've built firearms. I'm a collector. You see the stuff behind me. I do get a lot of stuff in auctions. And I get gun parts, all kinds of stuff, fun stuff. So my friend came to me and goes, "Hey, I found a site that has 10-minute fast auctions for sports memorabilia." And I'm like, whatever. So I go in there, and there just happened to be an amazing jersey, O.J. McDuffie signed in the 10-minute version, and it was at $9.
That's pretty awesome.
So I was like, I'm going to take a stab at it. So I threw a $23 top bid on it, right? And they hit me $22.50 was what I ended up getting it on. Now this is, first of all, they show a picture, so I looked at it, and I do have. You see that hat right there?
Yes. That
is O.J. McDuffie's signature right there.
Nice.
That I personally got, so I know there's no COA needed with it. I know it's good. So I've looked at it versus the one I had, and it was close enough. But there's a COA that's supposed to come with this too. I'll show you guys. I did keep it over here. It is a very nice jersey, though. All of this, you can see it's all stitched.
And it's the orange, guys, limited edition.
It's the orange too, yeah. But these are knockoffs. They're straight knockoffs. There's no emblems on it. If you look at the front, there's not even a dolphin emblem anywhere.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even call it a knockoff because remember there was one period where the emblems were almost not there. And honestly, if you go with a Mitchell and Ness, which is a big thing that people are doing now, you don't get those emblems on them.
Oh, I have a Mitchell and Ness. That's my
yeah,
me
too. I got the Merino one.
Yeah, me too. So so if you look, you won't be able to see, but it shows that is there, and at the very bottom of the 8, you'll see the COA hologram. So the COA hologram was there, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But the card that was supposed to come with did not come with it, though.
Yeah, but you got the hologram, so I think you're good. And
no! I'm even better.
Go ahead.
I'm even better. I reached out to Pristine. Shout out to Pristine Auctions. You guys are amazing. The customer service there was awesome. They said, "Hey, shoot me a picture of what you got to make sure that we can match the COAs, and we'll go find it, or we'll get you it was a $15 credit or something they were offering when we first got it." So I sent the pictures over. They did some research, couldn't find the COA, so there was the $15 they're supposed to give me. And he goes, "I looked at the signature, and there was a bleed. And we don't like having bleeds in our signatures. We pride ourselves in having the best products. I'm going to credit you back $25. Now, if you remember a few minutes ago, how much did I pay for it?
Yeah, it was $23.50, wasn't it?
$22.50.
$22.50.
So I got the thing for free. They paid the tax, so I paid the shipping. Mm-hmm. I got it a week after the auction ended, so it was really good shipping too, really good customer service. And I'm happy with it still. I know it's right. I know the signature's right. I looked at it with the one that I have already, so I know it's good. I'm just happy. It's cool, man. I've been bidding on some other stuff too, and when I get my new office, I'm going to have some extra things to put up on the wall then, because I have a poster for that, or a poster board for it. So I'm excited.
Very nice. Yeah, you're going to have to give me the name of the auction site because I'm going to check it out.
Pristine Auctions. I'll put a link in below. So you guys, if you are listening to this, you can go ahead and take a look at it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started so we can get through this list because it's
we can get this started with our list of 5 movies that we both said we were going to put together. But this seems to be a common trend with me because I just realized that the other day when I went to go get chicken wings, I did the same thing. It was,
really?
You want 10? Yeah, I'll take 10 and make that 15, make it 20. But yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so with no further ado, Dolph, I will go ahead and let you start out with your first pick. And again, these aren't in any particular order.
I had to find an inspirational sports movie that I love. And I love not only because of the sports, the coach in this, but also the players. You get to see a lot of what they go through and whatnot. And the movie's called Any Given Sunday. If you haven't seen it, it's got Jamie Foxx in it, LL Cool J, Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz, star-studded cast. Based in Miami, the Miami Sharks. It's such a cool movie. Lots of players in it too. Outside of it, Lawrence Taylor played a big part in it too. I believe he was the one at the end that got shot up, I guess, with the whatever. And then was it Dennis Quaid who was the?
Yes, Dennis Quaid was also in the movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was the aging aging quarterback. So it was a great movie. Pacino has some amazing monologues in it too, and it's a feel good, hard hitting, it's a good football movie. I love it.
Lots of twists and turns in the movie for sure.
Oh yeah,
some things you don't really expect until you watch the whole movie, but definitely a good movie. It stands up. But the weird thing is that I have seen in the past Any Given Sunday come up on the best list of movies and also on the worst list of movies. So
I can see that.
Yeah, the debate on it is hot.
So, because it's so over the top with what it is and what it represents, and it does represent a negative part of the game with the way that the players are treated and everything, and then the partying that they do, which, if you know anything about football players in the NFL, and these are all true. It's funny that people talk trash about that, but if you look at the show Ballers, Ballers follows the same exact trend, and it shows the exact same thing, and it gets praise. Well, it's got The Rock, man. You gotta love The Rock.
Well, yeah, you gotta love The Rock, but
I mean we do for reasons, but
it's all the same things. I think that one of the reasons that people went kind of backwards on Any Given Sunday is because you had Pacino in a role that you're not used to seeing him in. You had a couple other people that's not the role that they usually do, but I felt like they all did a great job. So I don't really see why there's hate on the movie. I really don't.
No, who else was in that movie that was good? Any other football players you can remember?
Ooh, I mean, not off the top of my head, but there were a ton of good actors and athletes in that movie. I mean, of course, you got the no-name people too that are in there just trying to, get their big break. But overall, the casting was excellent for the movie.
Absolutely. All right, what's your number one?
So I will move on to one of mine, and since we're going to stay kind of on the serious side on this one, I'm going to go with Field of Dreams. Now, Field of Dreams holds a lot of sentimental value for me. It's a fantastic movie. Of course, it's not an action movie. It's not something where you're going to get a whole bunch of pop. It's a movie you have to hang through it, especially at the beginning. There's a lot of monologue. There's a lot going on, but the further you get into it, the more you get kind of invested in the movie and everything that's going on. Then you find out, and obviously we're not worried about spoilers. This movie's been out since God knows how long. But it turns out to go from baseball players to his dad, in who are the ghosts that are coming into the outfield that are playing. And it's an amazing movie, just great storyline, a lot of hope, a lot of sentimental. It holds a soft place in my heart because it's a movie that my dad bought me when I was a kid, because he thought that I would like it, and he just picked it up on the way home. So, I mean, true story on this, I actually still have the VHS that he gave me put away.
Absolutely, it's dad.
It's my dad. And for those of you that know me, that my parents are everything. So yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Has pretty much everything that you would want in a movie that's kind of a tearjerker and really something that you can get invested in.
So I didn't want to tell you this before we started. Mm-hmm. I've never seen that movie.
Wow.
It's so slow. I've tried to start it so many times, but I was young when it came out.
Yeah.
and I never went back to. I didn't watch a lot of TV through high school or even my 20s or anything. So things that I've normally like, I even some of my movies that are on this list, I didn't watch when they first came out. I was put onto them later because I just didn't watch enough TV and movies and stuff back in the day. I was a feral child. Like it was bad. Like I lived beachside, man. What do you want? We were on the beach
They got him a flea collar and stuff. And
dude, we needed shock collars. What we needed. But yeah, I've never seen it. I know the premise of it, and I know it's a critically acclaimed movie, and I've seen it on like streaming services since then. I'm like, man, I should really go and give this another shot. I just never have. And to be honest, now that you've had it on your list, I respect your opinion enough that I'm at least going to give it a shot as a middle-aged adult. God, that hurt to say.
Give it a shot. You never know. You may end up watching it with your little guy over there, and having a memory to share.
Yeah, if it's not Star Wars, he's not watching it.
Well, I mean, Star Wars is pretty clutch. So, I mean, of course, Dark Side over. Well, let me not say Dark Side. Empire over on this side.
We were watching Obi-Wan.
My sister
right
gets
now.
on me about that. What, you were watching what?
Obi-Wan.
Oh, okay. Great series.
I watched it myself when it first came out. Then my son's like, I want to watch Darth Vader. I'm like, ooh, I got the Vader for you.
Oh, that's why I love your son. That's why I love that kid. And the scene with Vader where they're trying to escape on the transport, that he just pulls it back down and rips the side off. I was like, wow.
Which shows, we're getting way off the topic, but it shows how much more powerful he is than people the likes of Rey and other Ezra Bridges tried that same thing too. Like, so many Jedi have tried that and failed. And for him to, dude, he brought home a whole transport. That was a crazy.
And like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. But anyway, okay, so we'll move on to the next movie now, because I'm sure we could do an entire show just on the Star Wars series, the good and the bad and everything in between. Goodness. But, Dolph, what's your next movie?
Okay, so this movie here was one that somebody turned me on to later in life. I didn't watch movies, like I said. So I was working with a gentleman at a call center back in the day, and he goes, oh, you like football. How'd you like Brian's song? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, okay, when you go home today, go cry by yourself and watch this movie, because you're going to cry when you see it. I'm like, I don't cry at movies.
So you mean as opposed to you going home and crying on your own anyway?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
From crying from being lonely to crying for the football. Yeah. Either way. Dude, that touched me. Like, that was such a good movie, and he was such a good teammate and such a good person through all of it. Like, buddy, the movie got to me. Like, I don't like tearjerker movies, and that one hit home so much. And I'm not talking about there's one in 1971, and I think there was one in like 1998 that was a TV movie. Both of them are amazing. Both of them they're good actors in their own respect. The original, I think, had Billy D. Williams, though. Like, he had some really good actors back in the day. God, who was that? Now I'm going to look at that up.
Well, I got to be honest. While you're pulling that up, I've never seen Brian's song before. I know of it, but I've never watched it.
So, yeah, it's got James Caan, Billy D. Williams, who else? Jack Warden. There's Dick Butkus. There's so many football players in this one, too, because they were doing it. Let's see, who else would you probably know? There's a ton of people in this. Mike Ditka's in it. It's just a ton of good actors. It was 1971. It's an hour and 15-minute long film. It's not a deep, long watch, but it is a really good one. I don't want to get into spoilers because you haven't watched it, so I'm not going to get into much more than it's a heartfelt story about an amazing player, and that's all I can get into. Like, just watch it. If you're listening to this and haven't watched it, either one, the one from the 70s has a lot better cast than the TV movie from 2001, but it's still a good watch either way.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out, definitely. Brian's song. Okay. All right. So moving on and getting into something a little more fun on there. Let's get out of the seriousness of some of these movies. Okay. My next movie.
I got those two.
My next movie, I kind of I was on the fence as to, okay, is this really a sports movie or not? Because it is based around the sport. but it's kind of not a sports movie at the same time. But White Man Can't Jump. Okay, White Man Can Jump.
That's a sports movie.
Will live forever. Well, I mean, it's regarded as a sports movie because of the basketball in the movie, but the basketball is not the core of the movie. You know what I mean? It's more the relationship between everybody.
Vader?
Yeah, that's Vader attacking one of his toys right now and trying to ruin the podcast. Definitely.
I love it.
Okay, so White Man Can't Jump, as everybody knows, Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes. I'm forgetting her name now, the Puerto Rican...
Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez, there you go. Just fantastic movie. So good that I refuse to watch the new one that just came out because there's no way it can hold a candle to the movie.
It doesn't. From what I understand, it doesn't. I haven't watched either, but I know people that gave it a shot because they like Jack Harlow, and they're like, oh, I'm going to get... Not even remotely close to the same chemistry that they had. But it is absolutely a sports... Because the biggest part of the beginning of, half of the movie is the the basketball hustle that they... Mm-hmm. So to me, I mean, I fell in love with the movie because of the hustle and what it was. I stayed for Rosie, though. Woo!
Well, Juno, when she's in the movie, that's how things are going to go.
Bro, there was a few childhood crushes that I had, in my teens, as far as, actresses. She was absolutely top tier, one of the best back in the day. Man, that was, yeah. It didn't make my list. Not because it wasn't a great movie. It's just I had some ones that are ahead of it. But man, it was that one of the best movies of my childhood right there.
Yeah, you got to make some business decisions on some of these movies. You know, it's you can't put everything in your top 5. So
true,
right,
so true.
So what's your next movie?
Okay, so this one has 2 versions. I only picked the newer version because it was funny for me, and then it had the cameos and the actors and everybody that I enjoy watching. My favorite actor in this whole movie is probably Terry Crews. Nothing he does everything he does cracks me up. I love that he's such a big dude and so imposing to only be just a cut up. And I love that he's hilarious. So
and former athlete, of course, yeah.
And a former athlete, yeah. But it's The Longest Yard, with Adam Sandler. Had Chris Rock in it, Burt Reynolds. Terry Crews, Michael Irvin was in it. God, who's the Hispanic guy with the curly hair that they've made quarterback for that day?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, I've seen the movie, but I don't remember.
Oh, I'm a name kind of person. 2005 cast. I should have done this before, but Burt Reynolds, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, Ed Lauder, the Great Kahili.
The Great Khali. Great
Khali. Yeah, whatever. I'm just reading. Bob Sapp, William Fichtner, Terry Crews. God, this is crazy. Goldberg, Joey Diaz, James. How do you get? Let me just share my screen.
Yeah,
my God, it is. Yeah, it. Tracy Morgan, Nelly, bro, Kevin Nash, Steve Austin. How do you not have a winner off of that cast in that story too? Because it's a great story that they remade and killed it, in my opinion.
But Nelly and Steve Austin threatened to steal the show on that. They really did really well.
Yes,
on their scenes.
Yes, dude. Steve Austin killed it, and Goldberg played for the University of Georgia anyway, so he was a football player. There was some really good actual football players, not only from the actor side, but also the football players that came in. Michael Irvin's in it, and he was such a good actor. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed by his acting skills and what he did. What are the football players you got in there? Anybody else? Oh yeah, Chris Berman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's on a reality show now with his wife.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, it's a great movie. Lots of fun. Your nemesis, Shefty's in it.
Well, I mean, he's got to do something since I'm taking over the podcast space.
Buddy,
sorry, Shefty, I'm pushing you out, buddy.
So yeah, good movie, great movie. And honestly, the one from the 70s is still good too. I just like the new one because it has all the cameos of the players that we watch and people. So love the movie.
I agree with you 100%. Both movies were really, really good. The second one, in my opinion, was better. The people that say that the first one was better, it's kind of like the debate between the NBA now and the NBA in the 90s. It's what you're used to seeing, what you got accustomed to. That's basically that. But yeah, great movie, a lot of fun to watch. If it comes on, I will give it a watch. It's just one of those movies that it's like, okay, yeah, I'll watch that. And it's always a good time. So I agree with you 100% on that. Okay, cool. So my next movie is A League of Their Own. Okay. So many stars. So much. There's so many funny movies. There's the seriousness behind it. There's the whole, they touch on family dynamics. They touch on pretty much everything in this movie. And of course, Tom Hanks is hilarious as the drunk manager. If you haven't seen this movie, it's worth checking out even just for Tom Hanks. If you're a Tom Hanks fan, he does a fantastic job on every movie he's in. I can't tell you that I love a lot of the things he does outside of the movies, but in the movies, the guy's absolutely clutch. Madonna.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you haven't done anything else in any other movie that you've ever done, but you did this one right. Rosie Perez, I actually liked you in this movie. Hey, not Rosie Perez, Rosie O'Donnell. I actually liked you in this movie, but there's been a ton of other actresses in this movie that did such a fantastic job.
Lori Petty.
Oh yeah, it's an all-star list.
Man. Yeah, it's
that movie. I'm looking at it. If you took the caliber of actors and actresses in that movie and did it again today, that'd be one of those movies that the budget would be like $200 to $300 million.
Oh yeah, because it just had that many people that were. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Gina Davis, Rosie O'Donnell, Megan Cavanaugh, she's awesome too.
And every single person in that movie was believable in their role. Every person, which is hard to do. It's very hard to do, especially when you have so many known names from other movies and other situations that you end up getting them in a movie about women's baseball, and they're absolutely 100% believable. You could actually imagine them being out there playing in the park.
Oh, no doubt. I hate that they don't have more representation, females in athletics, on a more front stage than they do now. We've talked about this before. We had your daughter's coach on, and this headline to show that when they needed it, the women stepped up, even though through all the sexism and everything that they had going on back then, and the expectations that society had over them, they still found the love of baseball and were able to put out a product that people enjoyed and loved. I think it was great.
And they rolled all of that into the movie, but without making it feel preachy.
It wasn't preaching awesome. At all. Yeah. It was more like showing a mirror to society. It wasn't like trying to talk down on it. It was more like just saying, this is what you show the world. And it was cool, man. I love the movie. It's on my my list too. We did share our list before, and we know there was some overlap, which is why we weren't too worried about bringing it down to 5. But yeah, A League of Their Own. It was my last choice, like more of an honorable mention, but a stand-up movie all the same. It was the one that I watched back in the day. I wasn't a fan of Madonna in it, honestly. I think that she was. I just didn't like her character, but I did love Gina Davis's character, Rosie O'Donnell's character. I liked them, and then it was good, man.
I mean, as far as Madonna goes on it, in terms of acting, she was the weakest link in this movie, but she was still far better than anything else she's ever done. And I think that the director really reined her in and really took her along the role, so you couldn't see the fact that she's not a very good actress. In this movie, it just worked. It just worked. Yeah. Okay, absolutely. So what's your next movie?
So we're going to stay along the lines of baseball.
Okay.
And actually, the rest of my list is from baseball. I was a baseball fan growing up. So a lot of this stuff is from when it's older, but it was definitely things that spoke to me. I wanted to play baseball back in the day. I was just not very good at it. I'm still not very good at throwing, but anyways, The Sandlot. Amazing things. Especially because that spoke to my childhood. That was something that we did. Like I just told you, we were feral children. We were out, we were surfing, we were playing basketball, like all through high school and middle school. We played basketball daily. We played football. Like we played full out tackle football in high school. No pads, no nothing. We were wearing people out, playing soccer, all kinds of stuff. And Sandlot spoke to, because all you needed was a ball, man. A ball on a field, and you had everything that you needed to do it. They needed a bat and some gloves, but that's all you needed to make history with your friends and to be able to feel the way that like you could emulate what you saw on the TV, like the Bambino with like showing his the like, dude, that was just, you were trying to be your heroes.
Yeah.
And it spoke about what that was like back in the time frame. I didn't grow up in that time frame, but I still had that when I was like, everybody wanted to be, and the Jordan fadeaway. Like, it's what you did when you're like, it spoke to me on a deep level, and it talked about my childhood and talked about my heart. So it's on my list, man.
No, and I agree 100%. I mean, growing up in Carol City, down in Miami, we played a lot outdoors. I mean, we were outdoors all the time. We had
nothing else.
Well, I mean, but I had a good group of friends that lived on the same block. There were a whole bunch of us. Shout out to all the guys from Carol City. You know who you are if you're watching. We had a lot of fun. And I mean, whenever we played football just in the regular street, the way you knew who won is who got scraped up, because for some reason on the last touchdown, somebody always ate it. And that's just what the game was. But we played basketball, we played baseball, we played football, full contact, no pads, nothing like that. We played roller hockey at one point on basketball courts over at Lake Stevens Middle School, because they had the 4 basketball courts all put together. We had a little net out there, we had a ball, and everybody got their little roller blades and street hockey sticks. And if there was a sport, we were playing it, and we had a lot of fun doing that. So The Sandlot, definitely, it's one of the movies on my list. It's a movie that speaks to me, like you said. It's a coming of age movie in my mind, even though, again, we didn't live through those exact times. But childhood is childhood, man. And especially when you're playing and you're having that much fun and you have that good core group of guys, the movie just speaks to you. And it's a fantastic movie. And I've seen men and women say, that they love that movie, that it talks to them on what their childhood was, whether they played sports or not. So it's just one of those movies that's really transcendent. And because it was placed in the past, and they're not trying to pretend like it was anything else, it really still holds up today.
Generational. It's a generational movie. My oldest son, he loved it growing up. When he was playing baseball, it was something that he would watch. He would ride in his Nana's truck to practice and watch it on the little drop down that they used to have back in the day.
There
like,
you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it speaks to it. Like, it's a really good. And okay, we're gonna go a little nerd again.
Okay.
But it has the best villain in the world, Darth Vader.
Oh, it absolutely does. Absolutely does. And Darth Vader has the dog and all of those things.
Yes.
It's absolutely awesome. And I mean, come on. And who could ever forget one of the best lines ever to come out of movies? You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Great movie.
Fantastic
Amazing
line.
movie. Love
Absolutely.
it. All right.
Absolutely.
So whose turn is it? Mine or yours?
I believe it's mine, even though we're kind of overlapping on some movies at this point.
Yeah, you're good. Go for it.
Okay, so my next movie, and I would say this, if we were ranking anything, this is my number 1 sports movie of all time. Not because of cinematography, not because of anything else, but because I love this damn movie. I really enjoy this movie. I've watched it no less than about 20 times.
Okay.
Whenever it comes on, it doesn't matter. If I see it on the menu, I'm putting it on. I own it in DVD and in Blu-ray. It's just one of those movies that I really enjoy. And that is the original Major League. You cannot go wrong.
Yes, it's on my list. It's on my list.
Yes. Full cast of stars. I mean, more stars than the movie should even be like allowed to have.
Oh, yeah.
You go everywhere from Wesley Snipes to Charlie Sheen to just it's all over the place with stars everywhere. Everybody plays their part perfectly. Part of it speaks to me also because living in Miami and living in Florida, there was actually a time that the Cleveland Indians were thinking about moving to Miami. And a lot of people don't know that, but it is true. In fact, Tropicana Field right here in Tampa, St. Petersburg, was built on the idea of we're going to try and draw a Major League Baseball team here during that same time. So it's a fantastic movie, a lot of fun. There's no time to get bored. It's got the relationship part to it. It's got the funny part to it. It's got some racial stereotypes in it.
Oh, goodness.
It's got a little bit of everything. But overall, everything put together, it is a fun movie down to its core. You cannot watch this movie, whether you're a baseball fan or not, and not enjoy it. And I say that very clearly because my daughter is not a baseball fan, and she has enjoyed that movie. So, you know, if
Sure.
Alexis is enjoying it and it's a sports movie, you got something good.
It had the it girl from that time frame too, though, for sports movies.
Yeah.
Renee Russo,
Uh-huh.
buddy, she was it for that kind of movie. Like she was in that, and what Tin Cup,
Yeah, she was in Tin Cup also.
which wasn't on my list. Which it breaks my heart because now that I saw Renee, I'm like, oh, she was in that too.
Yeah.
That would have been on my list too. Which such a fun movie. Cheech is in it. Cheech Marin.
Yep.
Kevin Costner and Renee Russo. And it's just a really good. And then, yeah, it's a really good movie. But
yeah,
dude,
we both had to leave movies out because Miracle should have been on the list on my list somewhere. And
Remember the Titans?
Yeah, but people love. You know, I've never seen Remember the Titans. I've never seen it, and I get that look from everybody. That same look that Dolph just gave me, I get that look from everybody when I say it.
Because it's one of the movies that it needs to be watched. It's a really good. It's a overcoming stereotypical boundaries back in the day, and Denzel Washington is phenomenal.
As per usual, yeah.
Yeah, everything he does is phenomenal. That is just it seems like a cut above. But Major League's on my list too. Looking at the cast, you didn't even name anybody compared to what there really is on this.
No.
Oh my!
I mean, you got Corbin Burnson, you have Charlie Sheen, you have and it's star after star after star after star.
Dennis Haysbert, dude, his Rotutu. What was the guy's? What was the character? Pedro Serrano.
Yeah.
God. Oh, and there's
Him and Jobu.
Yes, Jobu, buddy. That, oh my goodness. Yeah, dude, it speaks to my heart. Like I said, it's back in the day, baseball was what I wanted to think that I thought that I wanted to play. And I really enjoyed the movies that came out for the baseball movie. So it was a good one. I'm with you there.
And perfectly put together. The whole movie. And of course you have the classic line of up yours, Jobu, and he gets hit with the bat.
I can still hear Chance a Wild Thing.
Oh yeah. So, such a great movie. Okay, so and you know what? People should be happy about that movie too because it actually turned the mistake by the lake called Cleveland into something that was funny and it brought some more attention to the area. Of course, Cleveland has come a long way, and look, we're not talking bad about you, Cleveland, but you know what the nickname was. But you know, Cleveland has come a long way, and I'd like to think that movie had something to do with it because it really brought more attention onto the area, which was pretty cool.
They needed it because they weren't bringing attention to themselves.
Yeah, no, except for unless you're looking at records for losing. But yeah, anyway, again, we're not talking trash about you, Cleveland. We're just not.
It's just true. It's truth, man. That's the problem. Like, you can't look at this and say it's not truthful because it absolutely is. Like, they were not good teams back in the day.
No.
I want them to win. That'd be great.
And by the way, and I get that there's political correctness and all these things. I hate the name the Guardians. Come on, if you had to change it from the Indians, couldn't you have picked something else? Like, seriously, the Guardians? Like, I'm sure that there were 1,000 other names out there that somebody could have picked that could have worked with the name Cleveland a little bit better than the Guardians. But anyway,
you think Commanders is any better?
No, Commanders is not any better.
Yeah,
Commanders is not any better. But the alternate to Red Tails and stuff like that wasn't any good either. So, you know, I mean, I actually started to like the name Washington Football Team. That actually started growing on me.
I did. I was like, that's not bad. I mean, it's not a state.
Exactly.
So I think it worked for me. It worked. Anyways. All right. So my last one, because I have Major League on mine and I had a League of Their Own on mine. So that just chopped them down. It's Angels in the Outfield.
Okay. Not to be confused with Angels in the End Zone, which was absolutely horrible if you've ever seen it. But anyway, continue with Angels in the Outfield.
Okay, 1994, same time frame as all these other movies we're talking about. It's kind of funny that we've stuck in with the same time frame of all these movies. Amazing cast again: Christopher Lloyd, Tony Danza, Danny Glover, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like, really, really, really good, feel good movie. Back, like, I remember going to see it. I remember walking. It was 1996. 95? 94. So I was a freshman in high school. So I walked to from where I was living at in Cocoa over to Merritt Island to go see this movie because I wanted to see it so bad, and no one would take us over. Over the bridge, everything. Yeah, there was nothing. We were feral, man. We did. We like being outside in the summer heat. Like we were there. But
Over the bridge and through the hood, the feral children come.
absolutely. But dude, for real though, I loved it. It was such a feel good movie. I honestly don't remember much about it. I just remember that when I think about it, I get warm and fuzzies inside because it was just a time frame that I was coming of my age and growing as a person and as an adolescent, and it reminds me of that time, and I like it. It was good.
Yeah, it's a solid movie. You know, very. It's back when Disney movies were absolutely cuddly, absolutely, sanitized all the way through. Really good movie. You know, it's a feel good movie. As an adult, maybe if you're watching it the first time, it's not going to hold up for you. But kids absolutely adored the movie, and I can tell you, if you're an adult, give it a chance. Give it a chance. You know, it's a good movie, good wholesome movie that has a lot of fun to it. Of course, you can't look at it and be, oh, this is realistic. None of it is realistic.
No, it's just a good movie to feel.
Yes, it's just a good feel-good movie. And for all those people that are watching movies out there, they say, oh, but it's not realistic. Okay, but if you're watching Star Wars and you're watching anything else like that, none of it is realistic. Okay? It's just not. It's kind of the same argument where people are like, oh, professional wrestling, it's all fake. But then you'll go and you'll watch a fight between Vin Diesel and The Rock on Fast and the Furious and say, oh, wow, that was an amazing fight. Yeah, that was scripted, okay? So it's just what it is. All right, let me get off my soapbox right quick.
No, you're not wrong. Like I don't know why people believe that you need to have a believable story and plot for it to be a good movie. Like the whole genre of sci-fi is on that. Mm-hmm. But while we're here on 90s baseball movies and stuff, another one that I really loved was Rookie of the Year.
Oh, okay. So that's where we're going to kind of disagree a little bit.
It was a stupid movie, but I liked it.
Yeah,
stupid movie, horrible.
That movie did not speak to me whatsoever. It just, I don't know. It's entitled kid and all these other things. The broken arm and okay,
oh, yeah.
Like I can roll with some of it, but to a point it just goes way too far. And it's like, yeah, this movie, okay, no, once was enough. Thank you very much.
Oh, I love it. Stupid movie, but I loved it. All right, so your last one, right?
I have an honorary mention because, like I said, I can't just stick.
You wouldn't tell me this, you jerk.
It's just what it is. So, for all the guys that are watching out there and all the ladies that are watching out there, movies dating just a little bit now because of the age of it. But if you want the ultimate date movie, and what I mean, ultimate date movie, because if you're a guy and you love sports, it's got the sports. If you're a woman and you love the romantic part of movies, it's got the romantic part of the movies. There's got some comedy to it. It's got everything, and it has one of the best actors of our lifetime in Kevin Costner. The movie is For Love of the Game. If you've never watched the movie, For Love of the Game is a vastly underrated movie. But it has everything. You've got the pitcher that is aging kind of at the end of his career, even though they're not really telling you that at the beginning. But you can see it as things are going on. And I'm going to throw the spoilers out there. If you haven't seen it, it is what it is. It's a fantastic movie. Again, you've got
Let me just tell you what it says here for the...
Go ahead.
After 19 years of playing the game, he's loved his whole life. Detroit pitcher Billy Chappell has decided if he's going to risk everything, or if he has to decide if he's going to risk everything and put everything out there.
Yeah. And that tells you nothing about the movie.
No kidding.
They want you to watch it. Kelly Preston is the lady in the movie, which is the love interest.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Kevin Costner, as usual, fantastic. Everybody down the line in this movie, it just plays their role perfectly.
John C. Reilly, I love it.
You go everything from him getting injured, which was a really bad injury in the movie, to the roller coaster of their relationship, to him standing in Yankee Stadium deciding if he's going to retire or not, on the verge of pitching a perfect game. Fantastic movie. I'm telling you, I'm going to stop there because I don't want to give away more. If you haven't seen it, underrated, you need to watch it. If you're a guy and you got a girlfriend, you got a wife, whatever it is, you got a partner, if you want to go that way, watch the movie. I promise you will enjoy it. If you don't, I want to see some comments in the YouTube. If you do, I want to see some comments in the YouTube or even on the Instagram page.
Speaking of comments, what did we forget, guys? what do we forget on this list? We have our list. We have this. What are your loves?
Yes.
I want to hear it. I would love to hear what we got wrong, what we got right. And if you have any other ones that you want us to watch, I would love some suggestions out there. So please post them up there. Let's do it. Don't care the sport. Doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Send us messages. Put it in the comments on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever you want to put it. Get us the information. Hey, maybe we'll come back and we'll review some of the movies that you guys put out there and say what we think of those, even though now I'm kind of committing to watching hours and hours and hours of movies that I may not have ever heard of. But whatever. This show's about you guys. This is your show, and we're here for it. We're here for every bit of it. But yeah, that's our list. Again, honorary mention. If you want to enjoy a movie, you want her to enjoy it too, it's definitely worth watching, 100%.
I'm in.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Okay, guys, so we are at time right now. Thank you again for tuning in. We promise we'll be back with some regular episodes, and we'll continue on this journey that we call Game Face with MJ and Dolph. Thank you, guys. Like, subscribe, listen. Again, we're available on audio versions also, Samsung, Spotify, other places out there, RSS, and we're on YouTube. So if you want to see the show continue to grow, get on there, subscribe, like, listen to our shows, download them. We can see when you guys do, and we appreciate it. The guy in Jamaica, I'm assuming it's a guy. The other guy over in Belgium, we love you guys. I saw that we have somebody now in the Midwest also. We're enjoying watching all these little circles pop up from where people are watching the show. So let's keep it up, and we will continue putting out the best content that we can. If you have any suggestions, any requests on something you'd like us to cover, let us know. Drop it in the comments section, and we'll be more than happy to cover that for you too. But again, my name is MJ. That is Dolph. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time. That's the show today. What are you waiting for? Like and subscribe below, and we'll see you next time.